Hi Leo, welcome to your reading for the month of October. This message is for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you like the content that I share, please click the like and subscribe button down below. And this message is for Leos who have gone through a process of transformation. I sense that if this message resonates for you, you're somewhere in this journey. Something in here resonates, but you might be somewhere in this process because this is not a process that takes like 1 month to wrap up. All right, so I'm just going to jump into it now, but I wanted to throw that out there. In the center of your reading, you got the Three of Swords in the reverse, indicating intense healing. I love to see a Three of Swords in reverse for you. Excuse me, especially in the middle of your reading. Because whatever has transpired, whatever events have taken place, it suggests that you've been putting in the work to heal. And this is like a very deep level of healing. This doesn't feel like a superficial level of healing, right? When we see the Three of Swords, can be like immense pain. This can be connected to traumas and grief. But with this, it indicates that you're coming more into your own personal power. You're feeling more connected, possibly to your spiritual side. It's all here. And this brings in immense healing. But this is not something that came lightly, because if this message resonates for you, Leo, you've been putting in the work. Eight of Pentacles came out in your energy. And it also was your first card out. And so at this time, if you can look to your past and see that you've actually been putting in practical steps to work towards your healing. You've been manifesting something new. The Magician came out right after the Eight of Pentacles. And this is you building a super solid foundation for yourself. The Pentacles combined with the Magician suggests that this is both a spiritual transformation and spiritual work that's been done and practical work that's been done by you. This Eight of Pentacles could be something, a lot of times I link it to career, but this could be working on like your mental health, your physical health, something around like your health and longevity. There's a lot that the Eight of Pentacles can represent. And so whatever area of your life it resonates with, but I'm taking this in context of the evolution of yourself. And so there could be a lot that you've done. You could have also invested a lot of money, like a lot of resources, into your own healing and wellness with that Eight of Pentacles. And whatever this did, it helped you detach from possibly a colder energy. Now this can be outside of you, this Queen of Swords like energy that takes every word at face value, right? That's very methodical, that's very careful, can't even be calculating. But with this energy, this also could be something that was built up inside of you, Leo. Not the most Leo-like energy, right? The Queen of Swords. But this could be something, some part of you that wanted to remain detached or cold. And through this journey of healing and establishing your own healthy healing vibe, and there's again that connection with your spirituality and your spiritual practice, there's something here that you felt okay releasing, even if this is something that's inside of you. So you could be kind of letting your guard down a little bit. Maybe for a period of time you actually had to have your guard up, right? And felt like you needed to like wall off and control your environment so that you could do this actual healing work for yourself, right? And I suggest that's the case because in your environment, you got the Five of Swords with the Ace of Swords reversed. These came out together. And this together signifies that somewhere along the way, you actually could have found yourself in some scenario where you were the victim of a group of 5 people or a group of people. And in that moment, for some reason, you withheld your truth. Like you silenced your voice. You could have like held that sword in the upright and brought in like a Knight of Swords energy and charged forward. You didn't do any of that. Like, you kept something really close to your chest. It could have been the way you were feeling, and it could have been related to this Three of Swords energy. But what feels clarifying for this is one of your oracle cards. I pulled for you out of the Oracle of the Seven Energies, a higher view. And this was beautiful together because there was some part of you, Leo, take it how it resonates, that felt like you needed to silence your voice. You might not have known why. It might have been really out of character for you to do that. But maybe you're coming into clarity around seeing that that actually was the best path for you to take. And to have that higher perspective, there's something related to your evolution in that. And even I'm sensing your sense of freedom. So not a light reading, like this is a big, awesome evolution reading, right? But with that 41, it breaks down to a 5. And so taking that higher view might have been something that is really, again, out of character for you, however that applies. And I do sense with that 5 of Swords, it involves other people. So let's get into your middle row. You got the Star. Shortly after that, you got the 3 of Swords in the reverse and the 6 of Swords. So these two cards together to start, this is 100% deep sense of healing. It's even emphasized by the same message essentially in 2 cards. And whatever you've done, I want to reiterate, this doesn't feel like an overnight process. This doesn't usually take place in like 1 month's time. And it involved moving away from something. Now this could have been moving away from a way of being, like inside of yourself. Again, could have involved a group of people. And the 6 of Swords indicates that we're being guided in that direction. Because while that person is having trouble carrying themselves out of the like choppy waters, the guide is there with them. So with it being near the Star card, this could be you felt like spiritually guided. You received some form of guidance and the help of like a spiritual mentor or something like this. But this whole middle row is all about your healing. Now, the bottom row feels like what is happening now and also what you've gained. So you got the 4 of Swords in the reverse, indicating a time of coming out of seclusion. Again, not a word I use with Leo energy, but if you felt yourself hermiting away, taking gentle care of yourself, the need to create some environment where you could like take better care of yourself, the 4 of Swords in the reverse following this indicates that you're coming out of that period of feeling like you need to cocoon and hide. There's a little bit of a rebirth feeling with that. And what you gained could have been and could continue to be a connection with your intuition, a deeper connection with this part of you that requires you to listen to your own inner wisdom and voice, cut out the noise that is external to you, and also to be able to discern like what's for you and what's not for you, to discern outside energy and messages in your life, and coming into a greater awareness with this High Priestess energy. And your last card out is so beautiful. It's the Strength card. So, I mean, this is one of those readings where it's clear and there's a storyline, throughout that's woven. And you coming back into the essence of you is a direct result of doing this healing work and being willing to leave the choppy waters, being willing to say what is not for you so that you can move towards the calm waters of what is for you. Because I sense this wasn't easy, like whatever you've been going through. Also, in your astrology for a second, you have Saturn, which is slow moving, but it's also a deeper energy, right? It's also not a superficial energy. So you have Saturn sitting across from you in your partnership house in Aquarius. And partnerships could have proven challenging. Maybe things that you didn't want to see, whether it's in others or in yourself. Something in your partnerships could be coming to the surface for the sole purpose of learning a deeper lesson. And again, that can be a deeper lesson about ourselves, right? So that's what's happening across from you. Not the easiest energy. Mid-October, you're going to have Jupiter over there moving forward, so that's more supportive for sure. And then in your 8th house in Pisces, you have Neptune. Neptune really likes to be in Pisces. You have a spiritual planet of Neptune in Pisces in your 8th house, which is a spiritual sign and a spiritual house. So Leo, that also kind of points to this high priestess energy here. You might at this time, like I said, be connecting more deeply with your intuition and this part of you. But it's also possible that your whole perspective on spirituality, on like the essence of who you are, on maybe even relationships, and like why we're here, you know, these deep existential questions, those could be rising to the surface with that Neptunian energy, and that's really beautiful. So you might be feeling the, you know, that shift inside of you and that transformative energy. Last but not least, you got in this moon deck, a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. And I was drawn to how Aries being the first house, this might not even be relevant in terms of like with another person, could be, but it could also be like a climax approaches in terms of yourself, your relationship with yourself. And it really mirrors back this 4 of Swords in the reverse energy, that if you were going through a phase of seclusion, withdrawal, detachment, that could be shifting for you. And you could be like coming up from this space of rest and healing and letting yourself be free, a little bit more unrestricted and a little bit more vulnerable with maybe yourself even, but also in your relationships. All right, Leo, that has been your message for the month of October. I hope you have a beautiful month.